Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
How are you, Mr. Umar?
Hi, how are you? Well,
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. How
Abdullah
about
or
you?
Abdullahi?
So, is Mr. Aladdin with you?
Yes, Allah is me. But he's trying to connect, but there is a problem.
Okay, so let me know when to start. I mean, let's wait for Mr. Aladdin and then we will start. Okay?
No, no, we can sit together here in my, my,
Okay,
my, in
okay,
my.
okay. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Aladdin.
عليكم السلام كيف حالك؟
Alhamdulillah, how about you?
الحمد لله الحمد لله.
Okay, inshallah from today we are going to start with the implementation of the ERP modules. So
ان
we
شاء
will
الله.
go through one by one each module. So basically starting with the procurement or the buying cycle, how you are going to purchase from the local vendors and how you are going to import from the foreign countries or from different suppliers. Okay, so just let me share my screen and you have to confirm if you can see my screen. Please confirm if you can see the screen.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so basically, right after the meeting, I will be providing you with the access of this instance, your database basically. So while you are going to log in, you have your own user credentials, user IDs, and its password. So you have to just enter that here and the password and just click on login. So after login into the system, this is where you are going to land. This is the home page. Say on the very left side, you will be having the modules access. On the left side, you will be having the access to the modules like accounting, buying, selling. Uh, say as per the modules you have in the subscription certificate. And on the right side, you see you have different shortcut buttons. Shortcut buttons will redirect you to the documents directly, like for item, customer, supplier. I will show you each one by one within the respective modules. Say as customer is related with the sales cycle, supplier is related with the purchase cycle. Say I will show you there as well. And then you have different reports and master sections that contains the reports and some of the master items. So let's start with the buying cycle or the procurement. So for that you have this buying module if you see on the left side.
Yes.
Similarly, what you can do, you have this search option here from the top. If you
Okay.
just write buying here, you can go directly to the buying module. So you have two options there. So just let's proceed by going directly to the buying module from here. Sahi. So now you are inside this buying module. Here you have the purchase order trend. This is just a graphical representation or a basically trend ke how you are basically doing the monthly purchase. Say this is coming up in amount. If you see on the left side on the y-axis, you see it the amount is there, and on the x-axis these are months. Okay, this is basically showing you how you are basically doing the monthly purchasing. Sahi,
Okay.
you can basically filter out by them if you want to by
ما
clicking on
في. Yes.
you can basically filter out by them here if you want to see monthly, quarterly, half yearly, yearly. Sahi. Similarly, sahi, so this is just a representation here on the overview side. Then similarly you see the shortcut buttons here. Shortcuts related with the item, material request. This is the purchase request document. I will show you next. Then you have this purchase order where you are going to create the order or the agreement with your suppliers. What item you want to purchase at what particular rate? I mean, at what price? Say this purchase analytics and purchase order analysis is basically related with the reports. Say so we have just provided you in the shortcut, so you do not have to search in these sections below. Sahi. Then you have this reports and master section. In the reports and master section, you see in the buying side, in this section buying, you have different documents related with the procurement cycle, with the purchase cycle. One is material request, you create a material request from your store inventory, asking the purchase team this item is not available and they have to purchase it from different suppliers.
Mm.
Then you have request for quotation. Request for quotation is when you need an item, when you want to procure an item, but you do not know the price from the vendor. So
Mm.
you request for the quotation from multiple suppliers in the within the market. Okay, for example, you have A, B, C, three different suppliers. You
Okay.
create a request for quotation asking them for the quotation prices. Say asking for the prices for the same item but from three different suppliers. So
Very good.
you create this document. Say then this is supplier quotation. This document shows you what quotation prices the supplier has provided to you. So these two documents are interrelated. One is the request, and the other one, supplier quotation, is the reply or the response of the supplier what quotation prices they are providing to you.
Clear.
And the last, you have the purchase order. So you will be having the supplier quotation. You compare each and every supplier quotation, and after that you finalize the purchase order. You select the best suitable supplier and create the purchase order by defining the item rates and each and everything.
Mm.
So this is just an overview. I am going to explain the cycle to you after this. Say, then you have this supplier master data where you define the supplier and supplier groups. Like I had shared you last time the Excel sheet where we just discussed on the Excel side, but let
Mm.
me show you how it looks like in the ERP. If I go directly to the supplier groups, these are basically supplier groups. Uh, you do not need these. Let me just remove this thing. Say, so these are basically your supplier groups, local and foreign. You either import from the other countries or you just buy directly from the local suppliers. Sahi, so
Okay.
these are basically your supplier groups. Now, if I go back to the supplier side, I will just go back and click on supplier here. Here you are going to define what suppliers you have. Like for example, you provided me with three suppliers: Abu Mehdi, Yusuf,
Mm.
and Mahmood. So if you can see their supply groups, like one is local supplier and two are foreign suppliers.
Mm.
Say so this is a list view here. You can change the view from here, like the report, or if there is any image, you can do it like this. But if I just open one of the supplier, like for example Abu Mehdi, so this is how the supplier profile looks like. You define the supplier name, Abu Mehdi, or whatever name they have. You define the supplier group, like
Mm.
for example foreign local. So this one was local. So if you can define its name in Arabic as well from here. Its country was basically UAE. As this is a local supplier, you select the country as UAE, United Arab Emirates. Supplier type is company, but you can define it as individual, partnership, or proprietorship. So then these are some of the defaults like billing currency or price list. We will talk about this later. And if you want to provide any other detail of this supplier, you can define it here in the supplier details site, or if there is any website, you can define here. Then if I go towards the text, these are basically sections at the very top. Like first we discussed about the details section.
Mm.
Now I'm going towards the text section. Here you can define the tax ID or VAT ID, the registration number of that particular supplier. So you can define it here. Sahi, if I go about the address and contact section, you see on the left side you can define the address of the address of the supplier, like from which exact particular address, like the street, office number, building number, street number, city number, city name, and the country. You can define that here by clicking on new address, and this contact side is basically define you who is the contact person associated with the supplier. Say
Mm.
the contact person name, his designation, and email or phone number, mobile number, contact details basically. So you can define the address here and the contact here. Then we will talk about this thing later on. On the accounting section, you can basically define the payment terms if you have any. Like by default, the payment terms will be selected at like this. For example, if you have an agreement with the supplier, okay, you provide them 50% advance in 10 days. So, or you can provide the payment immediately, or you can provide them the payment like in 5 days, 30 days, or whatever agreement we have. You can define the payment terms here. So, if you just define it by default on the supplier profile, then on each cycle, like on every purchase order, purchase invoices or payments, system will automatically calculate as the payment terms defined here. Say, we will see this thing once again while we are just going through the purchase cycle. We will come up to this thing again. So the last thing was dashboard. Say, so this dashboard, if you see here, okay, this is the stats here. It will show you whatever billing or whatever purchasing this person has done, whatever purchase invoices they have, like the billing 36 dirhams, it is showing you, and it is also showing you that they has not paid any amount yet. Total unpaid is zero, I mean. So there is nothing balance left over this supplier. So by this way, on the supplier profile, you can have an idea what amount was actually billed and how much amount is remaining or in the balance or due amount is remaining to the vendor. So this is just to provide you an know-how and overview of this thing. Then if you see on the connections, this is my connection section. Sahi. So you can see this supplier, I mean from whatever document this supplier is related, then it will show you here. Like for example, if you see one purchase order, one purchase receipt, one purchase invoice. So this means for this supplier, we have already created one purchase order, one receiving, the goods receiving, item receiving, and one purchase invoice. So this is basically the connections where this supplier is basically you have used within the ERP, where this supplier is basically associated to the documents. Sahi. So this is your some of the supplier details. Uh, Remember one thing, uh,
Good.
all these things that are basically associated with the red asterisk, this red star, are the mandatory fields. So these are at any document you see this red star with this means these are mandatory fields and you have to just enter the data there. So these are just important for you. Sahi. So if you have any question on the supplier master, you can ask me.
Yeah, if it is an individual supplier,
Yes, this is an individual supplier.
is it mandatory to put a tax number? I
No,
think here it's not mandatory. Okay.
not mandatory.
Okay, come on. Fine.
Sorry, is there anything else?
No, it's clear.
Okay. And now, Sai, now I am out back into this buying module. We discussed about the supplier and thus its supplier group. Okay, how you have local and foreign suppliers, and how you are going to create a new sub. Okay, so we just discussed about the supplier. So while adding the new supplier, now you have to click here on the Add Supplier button. Just go to the Add Supplier button and click on Edit Full Form. By going into Edit Full Form, you have the same options, the same fields there. I just showed you the Abu Mehdi example, but here you have to provide them the details, like while entering the new supplier. For example, Abdullah is your supplier, and you see this is my red asterisk means this is the mandatory field, and it is local supplier. You can define, and you see on the text, sorry, on the text side it is not mandatory, but if you have the text details of the supplier you can define, else just leave it. And the address and contact, you have to define its address and contact, and the similarly contact person. And on the accounting side you can define the payment terms. So you have to create a new payment. I will just show you the payment terms template. But this is how you are going to enter the information of the supplier and click on save. Once you save this supplier, you see कि its dashboard will be shown to you कि from where this supplier is basically used, and similarly you see this supplier is enabled, means कि this supplier is active and you can do the procurement, the purchasing for this particular supplier. So if this supplier is not enabled, like for example, if you just see in the settings section, if I just disable this supplier, then what will happen? Ke this supplier will be shown to you in the reporting side, but you will not be able to create a new purchase order for this supplier.
Okay.
See? So this will just be disabled and will be of no use further on.
Hmm. So,
How can I edit? Can I edit any information?
You can edit any information. Like
Okay.
one more thing here. Like for example, I am going to open this Yusuf. Sahi, I have opened Yusuf supplier and you see this activity. In the very last you have this activity site. Here it is right now because I am just logged in from my ID, so it is why it is showing me you last edit this or you created this. But Mr. Omar or Mr. Aladdin, if you log in to this supplier Yusuf, here my name will be visible to you. Okay, Abdullah created this or Abdullah edited this. So you
mm-hmm.
have the complete visibility ke who is the person who was working on this document, who created this, who made the changes, who made the editing. So you have the complete verification or for this thing. So you can also basically control to know how which person was basically doing the working. So you have the complete visibility of this thing. So right now this Yusuf is saved, but as you said you want to make any changes in this thing. So for example, if I just put any tax ID, let's suppose the customer provided me with any tax ID later on, so you can just update any detail. Like you provide this text ID there, and if I just said his full name was this Yusuf Ahmed, for example, you can change any other detail as well, like the address or any other detail. So if I just save this thing, say system has saved it, but if you see in the activity log, it will show you I just changed the value of supplier name from Yusuf to Yusuf Ahmed, and from text ID previously it was null 0, now it is this number. So you will be having the complete visibility what was the changes and who had done the changes. Uh,
All
Sai? So this is how you can do this. Uh, any document will be basically available to you. You can make the changes. So I have reverted those things, like tax ID has been removed and this name. Now moving back to the buying side. So can you just explain me how do you run your procurement, local procurement from the local suppliers?
Okay. That is something.
and the vegetables, no problem.
Like I want to buy like 500 kilo of tomato,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a three offer, let's say, with three prices.
Sahi.
So I need to make sure that I get in the good price and good quality.
Sahi. Sahi. Got your point. So, inshallah, let's start with the with our purchase cycle. I understood your point. For example, you want some items, some fruits or vegetables from suppliers. So you create request to three suppliers. For example,
Mm.
like you need 500 quantities of tomato. So you request for three different suppliers, asking them for the best prices, and once they provide you with with their prices, you pick and select that supplier and that was feasible for you, so that
Mm.
has provided with you the best suitable price. then you do the purchase order and just do the procurement. Sahi. So, Mr. Aladdin, now I'm going to start with the process here. Sahi. So, I'm just going to towards the process. You see this material request document here in the very top. I'm just going to start from here.
Material request, huh?
Yep. This is purchase request or the material request. Say right now you see this is the list view. If you see from the list view here, this is the list view, and right now we do not have any data here, so it is why it is showing you you have not created a material request yet. So
Mm.
create your first material request. Sahi. Otherwise the list will be populated here with their particular statuses. Say, so I'm going to create a new material request. Material request is basically a document used mainly by the store persons once they do not have any item available within their warehouse or within their inventory. Like for example, you needed 5 kgs of tomato
Mm.
for selling purpose, but you do not have those items available within your stock.
Yes.
5 kg was not available to you. So what your store person will do, they will create this material request document, sahi, asking the purchase team कि please purchase these many quantities so we can do the selling part. Say, so this is just a document for that material request. Whenever you do not have any item available or you do not have any sufficient stock, so you create this document.
Mm.
So right now I am on this material request document. You see the red are basically the red asterisk are basically the important part, important fields that you have to mention. So you see कि this series is basically the document referencing or document number uh, that will be populated. Now, right now you see this purpose. Purpose is purchase because what we are going to do, we are going to create a purchase request. We want to basically purchase the items, so we are going to create a purchase request here. This transaction date is basically the current date at what time we are basically creating the document. This 17/12/2024. This is our today's date, right now
Yes.
date. Sahi. So, and this required by date is basically the time or date at what time you want these items within your warehouses.
Mm.
Like at what time you require require those fruits or vegetables. Say, so you have to define this required by date here. For example, this 31st December, I want these items to be received by 31st December 2024.
Okay.
And just a second. Say, so then you have this item table here. You see this is a table here in
Mm.
the last. Here, this is a main part where you are going to define your fruits of vegetables that you want to request, that you want to basically create a purchase request. For example, like you said earlier, okay, you want to receive uh, tomatoes. Say, for example, this is the part where you have to select the item code and item name will be populated directly. And one more thing which I just forgot to tell, you can basically search for the item either by their code, like for example this FR006 by its number, sahi, or you can search for the item by its name, like for example tomato directly.
Okay. Mm.
Say, so you have these options. Either you can search by their code or search by their names. So for example, I just entered the item code here and its item name is tomatoes. This required by date will become automatically, and what you have to do, you have to define its quantity. Okay, how much quantity you basically want. Okay, for
Five-
example,
500.
500. Say its unit of measure is as kgs because you are dealing these tomatoes in kg. So you
Mm.
define its 500 kg. Then for example you can define another item here, like for example banana.
Uh, mm.
You can define its quantity here like 100 kg. It's
Mm.
by kg. Sahi. So you can define it like this. You can add multiple items or whatever items you require. You can just click on add row and just add an item be here by selecting the item code, by selecting the item here, and provide its quantity and just check and verify the details.
Mm.
Sahi. So another thing is this target warehouse. If you see this target warehouse, or here what you can do, you can basically select at what warehouse you want to receive those items.
Okay.
Say, so like for example, you may be needing tomatoes in one warehouse, but you need bananas in some other warehouse. So you can define the target warehouse here.
Okay.
Or if you want to receive both the items in the same warehouse, so you can define the target warehouse here in the top.
Mm.
Say, so coming back to the same document, once you are here in this document, you select the purpose as purchase. It will come automatically like purchase. We are going to procure it. You have to define the required by date. Okay, at what time you require these items. Then on the item table, you have to define the item here like tomatoes, banana, or whatever you want. You define its quantities, how much quantities you require, and you define its target warehouse. Okay, at what warehouse you need those items. Sahi. So then you just save this document. By saving this, the document will come up in the draft state. Say, you see, it is now standing in draft state. Draft
Mm.
means कि while the document is in the draft state, you can make any changes you want. Like if you want to update any item quantities, you can do. If you want to add any item, you can do the addition. If you want to remove any item, you can
Mm.
just select and delete that row. So while the document is in the draft state, you can do the changes. But once I submit the document, then the document will be locked and you will not be able to make any changes
Mm.
after submitting this thing.
Okay.
Sahi?
Okay.
Mm.
Correct.
And in the very last, you can see that you created this and you last edited this. I mean, while you log in, so you will be seeing here that Abdullah created this and Abdullah edit this. Say,
Yes.
so now I am going to submit this thing, and here the system is asking me for the confirmation. Okay, do I need to permanently submit this material request? So right now this is our very first request. So the document reference is like this. Material MR means that this is my request. 2024 is our current year, and this 0001 is our sequence number, sequential.
Mm.
So as this is the first document, so it is coming up as 1.
Yes.
So I just submitted it. So you see that previously it was standing in the draft state, but now it is coming up as pending. Pending
Mm.
means that this purchase request has been done, but no purchase order has been created yet.
Mm.
Sahi? So if there is any question till this purchase request document, you can ask me.
No, this
Oh,
is
clear.
clear. Okay.
Okay. Now you see this is the if you want to just go back to the list view, you can go from here like this material request. If I just click here, say I just went back to this list view, and you see that previously it was showing me that create first material request or create first purchase request because there was no data previously. But as of right now, we just created one very right now. So you can see that we have one purchase request created for tomatoes and banana. Status is as pending because we just created it and have not created any purchase order. Purpose was as purchase because we are going to procure this thing. And ID means the document reference number. That was 0001. Say, so these are just here all of your purchase requests will be listed here, and you can basically filter out later on. Okay, if you want to search for any document, you can search either by its ID, by this document reference, by its title, by its name, by its purpose. Basically you will be mainly dealing with the purchase side, and similarly by its status. there are some different statuses like draft,
Mm.
submitted, pending, partially ordered, partially received, ordered. We are going to, as soon as we proceed towards the towards the procurement cycle completely, then these status will be updated here on this document. Sahi. So we have just created a purchase request. R- then you said to me, for example, you have three different suppliers and you ask them for this possible rates, whatever rates they have. So what you have to do, your purchase person, purchase user, or the procurement user will come up to this material request document, which is standing as in the pending state, and you see this black button here, create. See, so you have to come up here in the create button, and you have three options here. For example, if you know the vendor, if you know the supplier, and you know whatever prices they provide to you, so you can create a purchase order directly. Say, so you do not have to create any request for that suppliers.
Mm.
So if you know the supplier, if you know the prices, so you create the purchase order directly. But for example, if you want to search for different prices, if you want to create the request for different vendors, for different suppliers, so you have to click on request for quotation document.
Okay.
Say, just click on request for quotation document. So you see this series, like previously you see about the material request document series. It is same like it, like purchase RFQ, purchase quotation, and this is year, and similarly a new number will be generated forward. This date is my current date, and this required date is coming directly from the purchase request document. This field is linked with the purchase request document, like this 31st December come automatically. The status means that right now the document is currently standing in the draft state, and if I just go further below, you see my items were tomatoes and bananas, along with 500 and 100 kg. So these are my items. These are basically my products which I want to create the request, and these are my basically quantities. Sahi. So these are coming directly from the purchase request document that we created earlier. The main part is you have to define the number of suppliers. So, like for example, you have Abu Mehdi and
Yes.
Mahmood, for example. I'm just talking about two right now. So you have to select the supplier here, from which supplier you want to create the purchase request. Sorry, the RFQ, request for quotation, the quotation prices. Sahi. So this is the main part of this document where you just have to define the supplier names. Similarly, if you see the this check enabled, send email. Send email will work if I submit this document from here. System will throw an email directly to the Abu Mehdi and Mahmood regarding the notification. KW team has created a request for these two items. Okay, please provide them their respective quotation prices. Say, so system will throw an email directly. But for that thing, for this send email working, you have to define the email for the supplier on the supplier profile. Sahi.
Mm.
Supplier on the supplier profile, his email should be mentioned, so the system will be able to send the email directly. If that is not mentioned, then system will not throw the email to the supplier. Sahi. So this is how it works. So then once again, your purchase person, purchase user will just save the document, and before submitting, he will basically verify each and every detail, like the item quantities and the name of the suppliers. And after checking each and every detail, he will just submit the document. System will once again ask you if you want to permanently submit this request for quotation. So once this request for quotation is submitted, so you see this my request for quotation. This is my number generated, and now it is coming up in submitted state. Submitted means the from the draft it has been updated to submitted, and if the email is mentioned here and this checkbox is enabled, the email will be thrown directly to Abu Mehdi and Mahmood for these two items. You can basically define any email detail here in the last, in if you see below. Okay, this is a message for supplier. This is a message which is normally thrown to the supplier. Okay, please supply the specified items at best possible rates. Okay, please provide the best possible rates for these items. Say, so this request for quotation we have created for Abu Mahdi and Mahmood. Now, if I go back towards the RFQ, you see this is the
Uh,
list.
Mahmoud Abdullah, wait, fine, just minutes. Sorry,
Yes, yes.
1 minute. Wait. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Okay. Sir, if you have any question from material request or this document request for quotation, you can ask me.
That's clear now.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
Now, okay. So right now we have discussed two documents, which I should like. Buying module, uh, purchase request for
Quotation.
quotation. Now supplier quotation and purchase order. Say. So we have created a request for quotation here. System will throw the email to Abu Mehdi and Mahmood, or if there is any other supplier, system will throw the email to them. Say,
Mm.
so they will be notified KW team has asked for the best possible uh, rates for these items. Sahi. So now, for example, both of the suppliers has provided you, Abu Mehdi and Mahmood has provided you with the prices either
Mm.
by WhatsApp, either by phone call, either by any medium or by email or by any other medium. So
WhatsApp.
by WhatsApp, okay. So by WhatsApp, what you have to do, your purchase person will create the supplier quotation from here. So sorry,
Mm.
so you understand कि system do not know कि what prices or from which medium you have communicated with the with your supplier. So you have to define within this ERP कि how what were the rates basically provided by the supplier. So you have to click on create supplier quotation button and you have to create twice this document, one for
Mm.
the Abu Mehdi and one for the Mahmood.
Mm.
Say you select Abu Mehdi here, click on create button, and now you are standing upon the supplier quotation uh, document. Your supplier is coming up automatically, Abu Mehdi.
Mm.
Sahi. This is the date, say this 17th December as of today. This is validity, like the expiry of the supplier quotation. Okay, like from at what date this will be valid to.
Mm.
Sahi, this is this, for example, this is for normally for 1 month, but you can, this is not mandatory field, so you can basically do whatever like you want to define or whatever agreement you have with your suppliers. Then if they have any quotation number like the supplier quotation number, you can basically define the quotation number here. Say if you go below to the item document here, item table here, the item names are there, the quantities are there, but here you have to define what was the rate they have
Mm.
provided it to you. So if you can basically tell me at what normally what is the rate for the vegetables like in 1 kg.
1.25.
Mm.
One, one. Well,
Okay.
Sorry,
one.
One.
1.25, for example.
1.25. Just give me a minute. Just give me a second, please.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. For example, for bananas,
And 500, 5 dirhams.
5 dirhams. Say, so we just entered like for tomatoes, 500 is my quantity per kg for kgs, 1.25 is my rate 1 point for 1 kg, and this 625 is for my overall 500 kgs. Quantity multiplied by rate is equal to amount. So this is
Okay.
how calculation is done. So like this, for example, 100 quantity 100 kgs multiplied by 5 is equal to 500 amount. Sahi. So you see below this total quantity is 600. Uh, Combining tomatoes and fruits, tomatoes and bananas, and this is my total weight. So total amount, for example, sorry, 1,125 dirhams by combining this amount of tomatoes and bananas. Sahi. So this is my supplier quotation, and if they have any taxes. Okay, we will go towards taxes later on. If there is any other thing that you define for the supplier quotation, like any other detail or any other thing which you note for the supplier quotation?
Clear.
No, no, I mean, do you provide any other detail on the supplier quotation? Like you have different terms with them or different things that you note with them
Have meeting.
on the supplier quotation? Okay, if these details are coming up in the details section, and in the address and contact, this will come directly, like supplier address will come directly from the supplier profile. The contact person will come directly from its profile. And this is your shipping address, like KW vegetables and fruits. For example, this is your address coming up directly. Sahi. And these are terms where you can basically define terms and condition with the supplier. Whatever supplier you have the terms and condition with the supplier, you can define here in the terms and condition side. Say so after this, you can just basically save and submit the document. Say system will once again ask you regarding the permission to permanently submit it. As of right now, we have created only one supplier quotation, which is for Abu Mehdi. Now, you remember that one supplier, Mahmood, was still remaining. What you have to do, you have to just come back here in the supplier quotation, in this request for quotation document, Sahi, and click on supplier quotation. But right now you have to define for Mahmood, because we have already created the supplier quotation for Abu Mehdi. So now we have to work with Mahmood. You have to click on create button here. Now Mahmood will come up here in the supplier side, and similarly these tomatoes and bananas, you have to define the rate for Mahmood and f- Abu Mehdi here. Like
Four.
for example, yep.
Mm.
Like for example, Abu Mehdi had provided you with 1.25 and 500. Say,
Yeah.
so we are just providing him with like this. Uh,
Th- This one banana make it 4.5.
oh, sorry, 4.5. Yes, 1 and 4.5. Sahi. So this is my total amount here, 500 and 450, which means total is my 950 dirhams. Say, so I will just again save and submit this supplier quotation. Now we already have two supplier quotations within the system, one for Mahmood, other is for Abu Mehdi. Now you told me before कि you want to basically compare between both the suppliers कि who has provided you with the best possible rates, best suitable rates. Sahi. So then you will identify those that supplier and create the purchase order for them. If you have any question till here, you can ask me.
No, no, complete.
Okay. Then you see below, these are some other reports. I will go to them after this. So you see one here, supplier quotation comparison report. This is the report from where you can basically compare between different suppliers, different items for different prices. Like you can identify which supplier was suitable for you and which item is coming up at the lower prices. So you just go to the supplier quotation comparison report. सही system will generate the data for that thing. So at the top you see you have the uh, from date and to date. This is the filter for the date, for the dates. And similarly you can filter out by item if you want to filter for the items. If you want to basically filter out by suppliers, you can do it like this. You can basically define you can filter out by documents like request for quotation or by supplier quotations. You can basically use the filters, but right now we created a one RFQ, so I'm just going to generate the data for one particular request for quotation. Below you see these are the data for which we will talk about. We have two suppliers, Mahmood and Abu Mehdi. One minute. Item, item. So these are my two suppliers, Mahmood and Abu Mehdi. Both has provided you with the supplier quotation for bananas and tomatoes. Sahi. Then you have this unit of measure which is in kgs. Then you have the quantities there. They have 100 and 500 for bananas and tomatoes. But here you see for the for the bananas, Abu Mehdi has provided you with the 450 dirhams, but Mahmood has provided you with the 500 dirhams, which means there is a difference between both the prices. And similarly, if you see for the tomatoes, one was coming up for the 500 dirhams, and other one or Mahmood has provided you with the 625.
Mm.
Say, so this is the report where we basically come up for the comparison, from where you can basically check which of the supplier has provided you with the suitable rates or the lesser rates. Sahi. So this price column is the total amount of the order of the item. Sahi, 450. And if you want to see the per unit rate, so you can see it like this in the price per unit. So 4.5 dirhams is provided to me by Abu Mehdi for the tomato, but the 5 dirham was provided to me by Mahmood. Means Abu Mehdi has provided me with the lesser rates. Sahi. Similarly for the bananas, 1 dirham was provided to me by Abu Mehdi, but Mahmood has provided me with 1.25 dirhams. Sahi. So this is how you are going to make a comparison here. And if I just go forward, so you have the basically document reference there, like the supplier quotation reports, supplier quotation document link. So you can just, if you just click on it, you will be directly referred to this supplier quotation.
Mm.
And similarly in the last you can see the request for quotation. So if I just click on this button, it will directly throw me to the particular request for quotation.
Okay.
Sahi. uh, so this is how you are going to compare between both the suppliers. And after this thing you have to create a purchase order. So after doing the supplier quotation comparison from this report, we identified that Mahmood was the best suitable supplier to us, because they have provided us with the cheaper rates, with the lesser rates like 450 and 500, which the total is 950 dirhams. Sahi. So after making the comparison, we will go back to here, coming back to the supplier quotation. Sahi. I'm going back to the supplier quotation. We identified that Mahmood was the suitable supplier for us. and we will just open the supplier quotation for Mahmood here, the tomatoes and bananas for 500 and 450 dirhams, and right here we are going to create a purchase order from this button create. So here here the details are same coming from the supplier quotation, its quantities, its rate, the total amount, but here you can basically define whatever taxes are applied on this supplier quotation or for this purchase order.
5%.
5%, yep, UAT, yep. Okay, so wait, is no tax.
That yes.
So tax rate is 5%, right? So basically the tax account that will be basically reflected or cater the accounting impact will be defined here, and the VAT rate is 5, and the total amount by if you calculate the 5% on this 950, it makes up total as 997.50. Means कि if my 47.5 dirhams are my tax or additional charges, say 47.5. So here is the further breakdown for the taxes you can see here. So if you go below, the grand total amount is my 997.5. Uh, so if you want to provide any other further discount, if there is any like discount the supplier
Yes,
has provided you with the discount, so you
yes.
can discount. Sorry,
Discount down the, we have a code also.
sorry, come again.
Discount, make a discount.
Yep. So basically, you can define the discount either on grand total. Grand total means के uh, total plus VAT amount, total plus tax. सही. So you can either provide on the grand total or you can provide on the net total. Net total means के excluding VAT by removing the VAT. So system
Mm.
will either calculate the discount on grand total or on the net total. Or you can define, sorry, you can define the discount either in percentage or in amount. So if
Mm.
you just provide discount in amount, system will calculate the, if you define in percentage, system will calculate the amount, and if you define by in amount, system will calculate in percentage and provide the discount in this total here,
Mm.
in the grand total here. Sahi. So these are some details on the purchase order, and if I go to the additional contact detail, similarly, if the supplier address and contact is defined on the supplier profile, it will come up here. And the other one is your basically your address, KW Vegetables and Fruits. Like your detail will come up here. Please confirm if this address is correct.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Say and terms here. If there are any terms and conditions associated with this purchase order, which is basically a contract agreement between you and your supplier, you can define the terms and condition here. And if there are any payment terms associated with this supplier, it will come up here directly. Like I told you on the supplier profile, if we define the default payment terms, it will come up directly here. But if you want to assign any new payment term here, so you can basically create and associate that thing here. If you have any question till here, Mr. Omar and Mr. Aladdin, you can ask me.
Mm. That's clear. Very, very good. Very nice system.
Say
But
so.
concern here, in quotation, it's not automatically. I check it manually, right? System not
Uh,
generated.
there are two options. Like you are absolutely right. We have to check manually right now, but we have an automation for this thing as well. I can show you the automation, but I have to configure this thing.
No, no
The
problem.
that
No.
that automation. Say so. Sorry. Uh, so this is the purchase order, and if we just submit this document once again, so it will be locked. So So the purchase order has been submitted to for the Mahmood. Sahi, and this is the document referencing here. Like this is the third order as of right now, and if you see on the left side, in the left side, this is the attachments here. Like if you want to attach any image, any Word file, PDF file, Excel of any document, you can basically provide the attachment here. See, by clicking on attachments, you can just either take the snapshot by clicking on camera. If you want to provide any URL, you can link it from here. If you want to upload any document or any image from your own system or by mobile or any device, you can click on from here. System allows you to basically uh, take any in any format. You can just upload it. Sahi. And so this is basically controlled on every document. Like if I go back to the supplier quotation, so if you just talk about the supplier quotation, this is the supplier quotation for Mahmood, and